Hello viewers, this is Larry with Lightman Technology. Today we're going to be covering a really exciting product called Lutron Ketra. Before I get into the product, I just wanted to give a quick brief overview of our company. Lightman Technology is a company that provides audio, video, and security products. We're a full integrator. We also do design for customers that would like to bid projects out, and we'll do design projects for customers anywhere in the country. As part of those categories of products, we also do whole home audio, residential and commercial audio and video, and security. We also do multi-sport simulators, motorized shades, and we also do networking and structured cabling for customers. So with that, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of Lutron. You can view my other video where I give you a pretty in-depth overview of the Lutron automation system and the Lutron automated lighting control system, and I'll reference that in the comments. But today I obviously want to focus on the Ketra product. So basically Ketra is in short, it is considered a color lighting solution. But Ketra is much more than that. Ketra is basically an invention and a reinvention of the way we do light in an interior space. Ketra is a multitude of products, which we'll cover here in a little bit, that allow customers to, in essence, replicate the natural light that in essence the sun provides on the exterior of a home to the interior of a home. And yes, of course, Ketra can do the traditional RGB color lighting, but it's much more than that. And throughout this video, I just want to give you an overview of where you can use Ketra, some examples of Ketra in homes and businesses, and how you as a homeowner may want to consider implementing Ketra. A forewarning, in implementing lighting control solutions, and Ketra in particular, is typically for higher end homes or commercial spaces. It is not a budget solution like maybe other solutions on the market, such as Philips Hue or some of the other competing products. Ketra is the only product in the market that has the technology to provide natural light in an interior home, or in any interior space for that matter. So as you can see in the background, I have an example of a home that has Ketra, and you can, at first you might just see that, oh, it looks like they have, some soft white light in the space. And if you're anyone that's attempted to have different tones of light in a home, you typically end up having to purchase lights or fixtures that have those warm or brighter tones in the bulb itself, and that's sort of what you're stuck with. Ketra gives you the ability to have any light temperature in the home at any time. And as we go through this, I'm going to use some of the videos from the Lutron marketing material, and actually have some of the people that invented the product in those videos help me explain to you the benefits of why and where you could use Ketra in your project. In most projects that we install Ketra in, the homes are higher end custom homes. Now you can also do it in commercial spaces, small businesses, restaurants, bars, design centers. You can use, customers can use Ketra anywhere they would like to be able to control the light spectrum in their space and provide, either warm, welcoming temperatures, brighter temperatures, or replicate the exterior light that it may be coming through the windows. So as we go through this, I'm going to be providing once again some videos, and then as we go through the videos, I'll provide some additional explanation. But the first thing I wanted to review is, what is the problem that Ketra is solving for you? Obviously, when you're building a new home, and in the homes that we're doing lighting control, or the homes that consider lighting control, it's an expensive project. Typically these homes are anywhere from $1 million to $2 to whatever price the home may be, $10 million. And in homes like, in a lot of the homes that are being built, customers are spending enormous amounts of money to provide high-end fixtures and high-end complements in the home. And there's interior designers involved in these projects that are trying to do color matching and color coordination. And the problem that we see in these homes until Ketra came out was that the light tones in the homes never really provide the depth of color that the home requires. So what are some of these issues that you might be seeing or that we see on projects prior to Ketra? Obviously with the popularity of LED lighting, customers are going to have a multitude of fixtures and LED tapes and linears and a huge spectrum of different types of lights in the home. The problem we see is it's almost impossible to get those colors and those lights to match. Often dimming is an issue as well. There are some lights and bulbs and fixtures that don't work well with the dimming. So where would we see a problem like that? Maybe when you go to dim an area, one of the bulbs or one of the fixtures starts to blink or prematurely shuts off before you get to the end of that dimming spectrum. Or maybe there are bulbs that actually just don't match. A lot of the electricians and the electrical suppliers and the lighting companies are sourcing bulbs, and maybe those bulbs were manufactured, or LEDs were manufactured in different batches. And there's slight differentiations in those batches so that the lighting doesn't match up. We also see that over time, as the lights begin to age, that they lose their color temperatures. Maybe they start to get dimmer, or maybe they start to fade in color, or maybe they start to, maybe the fixture or the LED emitter is starting to fail, and you start to see differences in the lights throughout the room. The other problems that we're seeing is you can't replicate natural light from these fixtures. You either get a very bright light, something very high in the CRI spectrum, or you get soft lights, or you have to intermix soft light and these brighter lights. And it just doesn't provide a very good even tone throughout the room. So all of these lighting problems have really escalated due to the advent and the popularity of LEDs. And Ketra begins to solve all of these problems in a home. And as we go through some of these videos, we'll discuss why that is and how Ketra is solving this problem. So I realize this is a bit of an extended video, but for anybody considering this solution or they're comparing color lighting solutions, I think after watching this video, you'll find that there really is no other product on the market that can do what the Ketra product does for a customer. And if you're building either or designing a business or a high-end residential space, honestly, Ketra should be the only light source that you're considering in the home. And like I said earlier in the video, Lightman Technology will provide that design and work with either a lighting specialist that maybe you already have on the project, or we'll provide those services and allow either customers will bid on the project, either as an implementer or integrator, as well as doing the design, or we'll allow you to bid that project out to some other local companies in the market, and at least you can take that design and get some competitive quotes. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and get started on the videos. So bear with me here while I get this set up. But the first video is just sort of an introduction video, and I'll pause each video as we go through this and discuss what the presenter is discussing, and then we'll move forward. So this first video is just sort of a short introduction to Lutron Ketra.
Light is everything. It gives cadence to our days. It creates these magical moments like sitting around a candlelit dinner or the campfire with friends. It reveals and conceals form and architecture. Light is more than what you see. It's a feeling.
So obviously, this first video is giving you just sort of an introduction into obviously that video is showing you some of the light tones and some of the different natural lights that Ketra can help provide a customer. And it's giving you just sort of an idea of what you may want to be considering when you're going to be implementing a new solution. So this next video is going to give you a little bit of an idea of, what is what's the goal of Ketra?
Our goal at Lutron has been to create incredible environments for people to live in. And of course, it needs to be beautiful light. And I think the missing piece as the lighting technology was evolving was light that not only behaved as well as incandescent light, which is where Lutron was founded, but could go beyond that.
Ketra being the first tried to build the best light source with the strength of Lutron in the marketplace. I really cannot think of a better positioned company to deliver the best light source.
So as you can see, the inventors of Ketra, and you saw in that video, Horace Ho is actually one of the founders of Ketra. Lutron, as a side note, Lutron acquired Ketra in 2018. So from an integrator, it was a fairly new product in the market. Obviously, it was released 5 years ago. Obviously the initial release, there wasn't a lot of initial traction. Integrators such as myself didn't really know, where it was going to fit. The integration between the traditional Lutron lighting control and the Ketra bulbs weren't really unified at that point. But since then, Ketra is Lutron. So this video gives you sort of an idea. It's just giving you sort of an idea of what was the goal of Ketra. And then this next video is going to give the inventor, one of the inventors, Horace Ho, is going to sort of discuss what's wrong with light right now in traditional homes.
Today's light, it just doesn't feel natural to me. A lot of people use one single color throughout the day, and that is not natural. And natural light is the sunlight. Natural light is the moonlight. Natural light is the firelight. That's natural, and that's dynamic, that changes.
Innovation, it's really
So now you can sort of see, once again, as I discussed earlier, we're sort of getting to the heart of the problem. Light in homes and commercial spaces, it's just not natural. You go from, in the morning when your body is, there's on the exterior of the home, there's a sunrise, and there's, the sunrise obviously is a little bit more of a warm light as it comes up. And you turn on the lights in your home, and a lot of homes just have these bright LED lights. And sometimes, it's just sort of a shock to the system. And it's the same for when you go to work. You go to work, and maybe you go from the natural light into this artificial light, and it never really just feels natural. So obviously the inventors of Ketra were looking to solve this problem. So now let's go into a little bit of the technology. Like, how did the inventors of Ketra and how did Lutron, as part of that manufacturing and design process, how have they solved this problem?
the heart of Lutron. And the lighting space is a space where we definitely see the next generation of innovations available to us.
We have to build a custom emitter because we need the optical performance. We have to invent a whole host of optics to be able to do both the color mixing, so we're homogenizing the white light, and also to deliver the beam control the application need. And we also need to design the custom integrated circuits to maintain the light and also to precisely control the light. Those are the three things that we have to design, we have to engineer.
So I think you can start to see that the Lutron technology is not just an LED light, or it's not just a RGB light. And as we go into these other videos, I think you're going to start to see that Lutron Ketra is an entirely new technology. It's not something anybody else in the market has. It's a completely unified technology between the control of the home and the control of the light temperatures in a home, and the mimicking of natural light and the exterior provided by the sun, and what you have throughout the day as part of your interior light. And these next videos are going to continue to expound upon the technology and how they solve these problems that I discussed earlier in this video. So the next video, they're going to discuss a little bit how they've taken not just RGB colors, which really anybody can just do RGB colors, but in a space, in order to provide natural light, how they solve that problem of mixing those RGB colors across the space and the technology used to provide that natural light.
Ketra lighting is the only solution on the market that is able to replicate natural light. The light automatically and dynamically shifts in color, temperature, and intensity throughout the day to follow those natural shifts that we experience outside.
To recreate correctly.
I think you can see in that video how the lights in those residences are mimicking the exterior tones and lights, which really provides, a lot of people talk about the circadian schedule, or how light is provided throughout the day and how our bodies sort of react to that light. And as you can see from those videos, the color temperatures in those homes almost identically, I will say did identically match the light that you were seeing on the exterior of the home throughout the day. This next video is going to talk a little bit about how they're handling the various angles and the technology and the lenses that allow us as designers to provide the correct lights in the correct spaces based on the need.
Natural light, you need RGB LEDs that are spaced very far apart so that you can recreate all the portions of that curve to give the dynamic feeling of natural light inside, or give that firelight sensation, or the sun during the day, or the incandescent kind of warm dim at night. You can't manage RGB LEDs to do any of those features without an intelligent light source. You can't manage any of that without driving RGB LEDs correctly with the controller like we built.
One of the challenges with
So next, how are they doing this? So this next short video is going to talk about the custom emitter that Lutron Ketra and the owners basically invented that is going to provide this. An LED light is a mixture of obviously the LEDs and the emitter, and then also in this instance with Lutron, the different lenses and angles that provide that light. And in order to provide that and the benefits of providing it, one of the terms that they're going to talk about in this video is vibrancy. And vibrancy is crucial to the implementation of the Ketra light. Vibrancy is what's going to make the difference between having, for instance, artwork or different color tones in the home and highlighting those tones. I think one of the managers or one of the people in the video refer to, I think it's in this video, but they refer to Ketra as being basically a filter on Instagram. As you know, those filters can drastically change how you see an image or how you see a picture or a video. And Ketra basically is that filter to provide that vibrancy. And some of these videos are definitely going to show you how this is implemented.
getting really tight beam angles when you're mixing white out of red, green, and blue is that you oftentimes get color breakup. Lutron and Ketra has a variety of beam angles from 10 degrees to 15 to 25, 40, 60, 90. We've engineered the lights to always be clean and crisp and precise.
To generate a spot correctly from RGB, we needed to build our own custom emitter. It's a whole optical package, all the way from packaging LEDs into a custom emitter to the primary optics to the secondary optics. There's a lot of innovation that has gone into being able to control beam without causing color breakup.
But doing that alone, just the optic alone, it doesn't get all the performance out of it. The performance that we need is so precise. We need every bit out of every part of the system.
When people experience vibrancy for the first time, it's an absolute wow moment. It's a showstopper. It's almost an Instagram filter for real life. And it lets the designer and the homeowner really have the tools to precisely curate that light as they see fit for that environment or that object that they're illuminating.
So as you can see from these last two videos, and if you rewind this video and go back through it, you'll see how the vibrancy settings and changes that you can implement in the lighting system can make existing art or spaces in the home feel completely different. You can bring out different color tones in a piece of art or a piece, part of the home, basically by changing the vibrancy settings with just a simple touch of the button on the system. The next video is going to discuss, among other things, a little bit about how Lutron solves another problem. The problem with LEDs and lights in general is over time the colors change. So over time, as you're living in the space, you're going to see different lights start to have different colors. And the problem is, in order to fix that, you would have to just replace all of the lighting in the home. Lutron implements a specific technology of color correction that takes care of that problem, so that throughout the life of the lights, they're always going to have the exact same color across all of the lights.
Inside each Ketra light source is a custom chip. It's solving color science equations at a 60 times per second update rate so that RGB is handled correctly. We're the only ones correcting for aging with actual optical feedback running live. So over life, the color's correct so the light stays beautiful.
Lutron's been in the business of...
The next video is just going to discuss a little bit about how they handle quality control. Lutron is manufacturing these fixtures or the products to a very high level of quality control. And in order to provide that level of light and correction and even tones throughout a space, the lights have to have a very high level of quality. And then the last video I'm going to just let play is a summary. And then I'll summarize a little bit of the video and sort of maybe the next steps you might want to consider if you're going to be doing a project like this.
Creating ambiance, feeling, and environment right from the beginning. But today, with the Lutron lighting solutions built around the Ketra technology, our ability to digitally control the window treatments and then in the same system manage the indoor lighting to complement or accentuate what we're doing there is totally unique. And I think it provides an opportunity to create just such beautiful spaces, and really nobody else can do that.
So that's the last video. And I think, once again, as we went through these videos from the Lutron marketing website, I think you can see how the technology that Ketra has implemented solved the time-old problem of providing a natural light in a home. And honestly, Ketra is the only product on the market that can solve this problem and all the other problems that I discussed earlier in the video, such as correction and color tones and mimicking that natural light in a home. Ketra will provide homeowners a consistent, beautiful space in the home that allows them to control the color of the more than just the color light, but the temperature of the light throughout the home. And yes, of course, Ketra can provide some of the, what I call more gimmicky color scenes, like maybe your favorite sporting event. Or you can obviously do any color spectrum throughout any part of the space. But really, Ketra is more than that. I mean, anybody could use sort of like the gimmicky bulbs, the Philips hues, or some of those lights, but you're not going to be able to provide the consistent tones and temperatures and natural light in a space over time with anything other than the Ketra solution. So how do we maybe implement something like that in your space? The process begins with a design process. We sit down, we look at the space. Often designers are going to, interior designers or architects are going to work with a customer to initially place light fixtures or lighting appliances or lighting bulbs or cans or whatever the light solution may be, linears or tapes throughout the space. We're going to work with either the existing designer, or some projects do have a lighting designer, or we can also provide that as well, and we'll provide a design for the home. Now this design can be completely separate of an implementation or installation services. Lightman Technology can provide that design that the customer could hand off to multiple vendors to bid out. Now I will say that there are only certain vendors in the country that are Ketra certified. Lightman Technology is obviously one, and in most markets there's only going to be a couple Ketra certified. You do have to go through a fairly extensive training. You already need to be a Lutron Homeworks certified installer, and then you need to attend the Ketra training and of course purchase the demonstration materials. So there's only going to be a certain number of Ketra dealers in a market. Now in a larger market, obviously there may be more dealers, and from the design phase that we provide, for a customer could definitely take that design and provide it to one or two or three other vendors to get quotes on, and of course we'll be happy to provide the installation services. What's nice about lighting control, shades, these are products that typically there's initial pre-wiring, there's initial electrical work that we work with the existing electrical vendor, and then there's the finish, install, and programming. And post install, there's typically very little support required. Now maybe there's some remote programming that we need to provide, but there's really no hands-on requirements after a lighting control or shade implementation. So we can come on site, do a pre-wire, work with the project owner on both Ketra and non-Ketra lighting installation. Some customers decide to do, for instance, Ketra in certain spaces, and then they do the traditional lighting control with traditional lighting in other spaces, such as maybe spare bedrooms or other areas of the house that aren't living areas. So we'll work with the homeowner to provide that design, and then we would also provide the installation services, and then follow-up support for any programming tweaks or changes that need to be made. And then going on down the road, if customers add on to residences or remodel, or we can assist with any of those projects as well. And we're happy to work with the homeowner on any of the other solutions that we may provide. But I think from this video, you really hopefully you got a really good understanding of how Ketra completely changes the lighting technology and what you can do with the space. If you have any questions, please reach out and we'd be happy to help. Thank you.